Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Mindful Moments, where we dive deep into the fascinating world of psychology, personal growth, and a dash of everyday wisdom. I'm Alex, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Jamie.
Hi there, Alex, and hi to all our amazing listeners out there. It's so great to be here. I'm Jamie, and today we're tackling a topic that many people find both intriguing and elusive: happiness. We're going to explore what happiness truly is, how it impacts our lives, and maybe learn a little English along the way.
That's right, we've got a fantastic conversation lined up today. So, Jamie, let's jump right in. If you had to define happiness right now, what would you say?
Oh, that's a good question. I think most people might say happiness is about feeling good, like being joyful or content. But from what I've read, there's more to it than just emotions, right?
Absolutely. That's a common misconception. Many people believe that happiness is just a feeling. But according to Harvard happiness researcher Arthur Brooks, happiness isn't an emotion. It's actually something quite different.
Wait, really? So if happiness isn't a feeling, what is it?
Brooks suggests that happiness isn't about feeling X, Y, or Z. Instead, feelings are just evidence of happiness. Imagine it like this. If you're cooking a Thanksgiving turkey, the smell of the turkey is evidence that it's cooking. The smell itself isn't the meal, just as feelings aren't happiness.
Oh, I see what you mean. So happiness is more than just the feelings we get from momentary pleasures?
Exactly. Brooks argues that true happiness combines those momentary pleasures with the satisfaction of overcoming challenges and having a sense of meaning in life. It's not just about enjoying a piece of cake or lounging on the beach. Those things are enjoyable, but they don't make up the whole picture of happiness.
That makes sense. And this idea connects with something that the late Daniel Kahneman, a Nobel laureate psychologist, said. He believed that people don't actually want happiness in the way we might think. Instead, they want to maximize their satisfaction with themselves and their lives.
Right. Kahneman's point is that people are often more interested in achieving a sense of accomplishment and having meaningful experiences rather than just chasing pleasant feelings. For instance, given the choice between a life of endless leisure or a life full of meaningful, albeit challenging work, many people would choose the latter.
So it sounds like the myth of happiness can really affect our decision-making. We might think that instant pleasures like eating cake or binging Netflix will make us happy, but they can actually leave us feeling empty in the long run.
Exactly. It's a bit of a paradox. In the short term, we might reach for those quick fixes because they provide immediate gratification. But in the long term, true happiness often comes from things that require effort and commitment, like meaningful work, building relationships, and personal growth.
And this is where Brooks's idea comes into play. He suggests that real happiness comes from pursuing things like faith, family, friends, and work, things that give us a sense of achievement and purpose.
Yes. So rather than focusing solely on avoiding discomfort or seeking pleasure, we should look for ways to find meaning and purpose in our lives. It's about balancing those immediate pleasures with activities and relationships that contribute to a deeper sense of well-being.
Absolutely. And for our listeners, if you're wondering how to apply this in your own life, think about what brings you a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment. Maybe it's working on a passion project, spending quality time with loved ones, or tackling a challenge that has personal significance.
That's great advice, Jamie. And for those of you who are learning English with us, think about how you would describe happiness in English. You might use phrases like a sense of achievement, meaningful relationships, or personal fulfillment. These terms capture the deeper aspects of happiness we've been talking about.
Yes, and feel free to share your own thoughts on happiness with us. What does happiness mean to you?
Absolutely. And remember, while it's great to enjoy those fleeting moments of pleasure, it's the combination of these experiences with a sense of purpose and achievement that truly enriches our lives. Before we wrap things up, Jamie, let's dive a bit deeper into this concept of happiness versus instant pleasure. What do you think are some common misconceptions people have about happiness?
Oh, there are quite a few. One big misconception is that happiness comes from having more stuff or achieving certain milestones, like a new car or a big promotion. People often think that once they reach these goals, they'll feel happy all the time.
That's a great point. Many of us have this happiness set point idea that we have a baseline level of happiness and that external achievements will boost it. But research shows that once the initial excitement of a new purchase or achievement wears off, we often return to our baseline level of happiness.
Right. And then there's the misconception that happiness is all about avoiding pain or discomfort. People might think that if they can just eliminate all their problems, they'll be happy. But as we discussed, real happiness often involves facing and overcoming challenges.
Exactly. It's like the idea of a happiness treadmill where you're constantly chasing after new sources of pleasure, but you never quite catch up to the happiness you're seeking. It's a never-ending cycle.
And that brings us to another interesting point, the role of mindset in happiness. Studies show that how we approach challenges and setbacks can significantly impact our sense of well-being. Viewing difficulties as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles can lead to greater overall satisfaction.
That's a crucial insight. It's about shifting from a mindset of avoidance to one of engagement and resilience. When we face challenges with the attitude of learning and growing, it can actually enhance our sense of fulfillment.
Absolutely. And speaking of mindset, let's touch on how our cultural perceptions of happiness can also influence our experiences. Different cultures have varying definitions of happiness and well-being. For instance, in some cultures, community and family play a central role, while in others, personal achievement and individual freedom are more emphasized.
Yes, cultural differences can shape how we perceive and pursue happiness. It's fascinating how what brings fulfillment can vary so widely across different societies. Understanding this can broaden our perspective and help us appreciate the diverse ways people find meaning and satisfaction.
And for our listeners who are learning English, it's a great opportunity to expand your vocabulary by exploring how different cultures describe happiness. For example, in some cultures, you might hear terms like collective joy or personal contentment, which capture different aspects of the happiness experience.
That's a fantastic point, Jamie. And don't forget, as you're learning English, practicing these new concepts in real-life conversations can help solidify your understanding. It's not just about knowing the words, but also about grasping the deeper meanings behind them.
Definitely. And let's not overlook the practical steps our listeners can take to apply these insights. For example, starting a gratitude journal, setting meaningful goals, and nurturing relationships can all contribute to a more profound sense of happiness.
Absolutely. Small changes in daily habits and perspectives can make a big difference over time. Engaging in activities that align with your values and bring you a sense of purpose can lead to more lasting fulfillment.
And if you're looking for more resources on this topic, we recommend checking out books like Arthur Brooks' From Strength to Strength and Daniel Kahneman's Thinking Fast and Slow. They provide deeper insights into happiness and how our minds work.
Great recommendations, Jamie. We'll make sure to include links to these books in our show notes for those interested in exploring further.
And remember, as always, we're here to support you on your journey toward understanding and achieving a more meaningful sense of happiness. Feel free to reach out with any questions or insights you'd like to share. And folks, let's keep this conversation up till here. Let's meet you in the next video. Bye. Take care.